Hi Ben, how's everything with you in the academy?
Yeah, good. Pre-season's been really busy. I think between the 16s, the 18s, and the development group, we had close to 20 matches over pre-season. So yeah, really busy. All credit to the staff for getting all the lads through it. Everyone's come through fit, healthy, and
Perfect.
started the season a couple of weeks ago.
That's what we like to hear. On the start of the season, we'll go over that quickly. Successful start for the Scholars, obviously beating Plymouth 3-1 as well. That's, the better start that anybody wants.
Yeah, and again, credit to the staff in terms of all the preparation that's been put into their pre-season. We actually started at the end of last year. We got all the staff together, all the multidisciplinary staff, and we just talked about, what are we good at? What do we want to be better at?
Yeah.
And then we went into action, from May. So it was nice to kind of like have that little bit last weekend against Plymouth. That was a bit of, seeing what that was like.
Yeah.
And we just continue to go, and that's kind of like come out through the rest of the age groups as well. And we're also seeing it away from the pitch, so in the classroom, in the gym, within our analysis program, our player care program, everything's kind of like gone up another level.
Yeah.
And because of that, it allows us to push the lads and be competitive across all areas.
That's perfect, because you don't just want to see that attitude on the pitch, you also want to instill it off the pitch in all areas of what they do, where it is their education, where it's their gym work, where it's training or on a match day, you want to see that. And we've seen that with Damarai making his debut, with Tripp being involved in the first team squad as well, and a lot of the young dons actually, being involved in pre-season matches.
Yeah, and that comes down to our principles, right? We've got the three principles, which are be humble, be on time, be prepared.
Yeah.
And if they're the behaviours that the lads and that the staff are demonstrating, then we're not really going to fail too many times.
Yeah.
So Damarai going up has been fantastic, but if you were here the morning after, he was here on time with the rest of the lads, and it was just seamless, straight back into what we're doing. There's no airs, no graces,
Amazing.
none of that. The lads, we're delighted for him. We had a bit of a celebration for him, but then you're back to work, right? Because that's what they're here. They're here to work.
Yeah, back to normality. But obviously, it's such an incredible achievement for any of these young players, and that's what they'll be looking to achieve to do, is to break in, make their debuts. But I think you were mentioning earlier, as great as that achievement is for them players, and it's an absolute milestone in their career, you want to see them be a mainstay in the first team. You want to see them fighting for places and being in the squad selection.
Yeah, being sustainable and being selectable is what we're trying to achieve long term. I mean, we had a great year last year. I think we had 8 or 9 debuts. We had the EFL Trophy. That was a great showcase. That will happen again this year. We've already looked at what does the EFL Trophy mean for the club, but as the academy as well.
Yeah.
And we'll continue to push on that. Yeah, I mean, the debuts are brilliant, but being sustainable, being selectable, and having that that career is really what we're trying to go after.
Absolutely.
So as well as the principles that we've got, when you look at our competency program, that is about resilience, self-control, achievement drive, competitiveness, optimism, all those bits and pieces. And if we can create this individual or individuals who have this well-rounded kind of education, not just on the pitch, but off the pitch as well, they've got more chance to succeed. And that might be with us, that might be somewhere else, that might be in a completely different career away from football. But that's our job. Our job is to make them ready for life. And that might be as a footballer, it might be something else. And we're incredibly proud of the boys that have gone on to have football careers, but also those that are doing something else.
That's incredibly insightful. And my next point is, I'm guessing the youth loans, we've seen many of those already, are a massive part of that process of those building blocks of building young players up to be ready for that first team experience. Because I saw something the other day that was quite intriguing to me, is older players and players of a past generation used to see it as you're being rejected from the team, or you're being forgotten about almost, or trying to get rid of. Whereas I feel like that mentality's changed now, and especially for young players anyway, because it's an experience and a learning curve.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of our accelerated pathway. We're quite proud that we have this vision of having an accelerated pathway. So, if you look at our younger age groups, there's an accelerated pathway there. So we have players playing across age groups early. I think we had 2 16-year-olds play for the first team last year. We had 4 15-year-olds play for our development group against senior step 2, 3 and 4 clubs in pre-season.
Amazing.
So that pathway's there. The loans is great, and the club have supported us in terms of putting this development group together. So last year we offered 5 professional contracts. to bridge the gap between, you know, being an academy under 18 player and first team is really, really difficult, and they're not always ready at 18 years old. So by having the loans program benefits that young person to go and get the experience of playing senior football, men's football, FA Cup matches. You know, Phoenix played in the FA Cup at the weekend. That was his debut in the FA Cup. Isaac's played in the FA Cup. You know, these are the same competitions that, you know, Premier League players have played. They're in the same competition, and to have that experience is a really big deal. Then they have the opportunity of playing Saturdays and Tuesdays in the evenings, you know. So what does that look like, you know? So we then have to educate them into, you know, what you're drinking during the day, what you're eating during the day, when are you resting during the day.
Changes their entire structure.
Absolutely, and that's all part of the education of going into the first team.
Yeah.
Football's so unique in that we are expecting 16-year-olds or GCSE level students to be A-level ready, and A-level students ready to take their degrees. It doesn't happen, you know, in many other industries, but in this industry it does. So we've got to try and accelerate them. We've got to try and educate them. We've got to be patient with them, and we've still got to make it fun, right?
Absolutely.
You know, for the staff as well.
And, you know, on that, on yourself and the staff, I just want to, you know, sort of understand your own personal aspiration and goals, because I feel like that filters through down to, you know, the staff and the teams you all manage as well, especially with JB shouting at all the boys over there.
Yeah, we kind of. Everyone wants success on the pitch, right? That, you know, everyone wants someone to come through the academy, local players, and that is absolutely priority. But if that's the only measure of success that we have, we're only going to succeed 2, 3, 4%, which means we've got 96% failure. So we need to kind of change what the narrative of success looks like.
Right.
So for us, success is on the pitch, but it's also what can we teach them, what can we educate them on, how do we get some outcomes where they still get success. So Isaac, for example, he's out on loan at Halsey, but he's just achieved his A-levels.
Amazing.
That's success. We've got boys that are learning different languages, you know, extracurricular, something that we support them with, but that's success.
Yeah.
We've got 2 boys that went out to America on full ride scholarships last year to Texas. Wow. That's success. So we start looking at it in lots of different ways, even down into the younger age groups. You know, you'll see in our monthly newsletter, every single month, parents are sending in, my son achieved this at school, my son achieved that at school, my son achieved, and we celebrate that as well. So their identity isn't just an MK Dons player, their identity is other things as well.
Yeah.
And it's important that we kind of keep that humility in them and in ourselves as staff, because we can get carried away as well. You know, if we all see Damarai, you know, making his debut last week at 16 years old, we can all get super excited about that and run away with that.
Yeah.
But there's still another 109 players,
who want to achieve
young
the exact same
people
thing.
still in the academy that we still need to look after.
Oh, amazing. No, thank you, Ben. That's incredibly insightful.
Awesome. Cheers, man.